evaluating Project 6, which is about vocal variety. The objectives of the speech are that he or she should use volume, pitch, rate, voice, and quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to her message. Use pauses to enhance the message and use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. So I'll be presenting my report at the end, and all the best to the speaker.
Rashmi Patil, Power of Thoughts, Rashmi Patil.
Long, long ago, there was a young man in his 20s who worked in a cold storage facility. That day was his manager's birthday. All the employees were to leave the premises early to attend the birthday party. Dear Toastmasters, this young man too was about to leave for the party. But then he thought to finish some work in the cold storage. He went inside and closed the door. After he was done with his work, he tried to open the door. Surprisingly, it was locked. He tried hard to open it. He shouted for his friends. He screamed on top of his voice, "Help! Somebody please open the door!" He yelled until his voice went out. "Help! Help! Help!" He shook the door, pulled it, pushed it, and kicked it hard. He tried harder, 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 until his body started aching. Door handle broke, but the lock was still adamant. Nobody came for his help. All the employees had already left. The lock was stubborn, the door was heavy, and he was alone. He imagined his friends enjoying the birthday party. He imagined his beautiful wife waiting for him to return home. He thought about the baby they were expecting to arrive in a couple of weeks. Then he saw the broken door handle. He checked the cold storage. There were no windows. Even the slightest breeze could not have entered or escaped the building. He felt secluded, stranded, and sad. He thought, if I stay in this freezing temperature whole night, I'll surely die. He was convinced that he will be frozen to death. With the help of a small metal rod, he wrote on the wall, "I was stuck inside and froze to death." Then he calmly lied down on the floor, waiting for his demise. Next morning, some employees broke open the door. They found this young man lying on the floor, lifeless. A few hours later, a surprising fact was revealed by a maintenance person. The cold storage facility had malfunctioned previous night. Instead of maintaining its usual freezing temperature, the temperature maintained inside was 25 degrees. This young man could have survived the night. What happened? Why he froze to death? Psychologists term this as nocebo effect of negative thoughts. Leading cellular biologist Bruce Lipton says, your mind will adjust your body's biology and behavior to fit with your beliefs. If you have been told you will die in 6 months, and if your mind strongly believes it, you most likely will die in 6 months. This young man in the story believed strongly that he will be frozen to death. So his organs froze to death, even though physically it was not possible. This is the power of thoughts. Our thoughts can make or break our life. son had stomachache. He cried incessantly until we consulted a doctor. As soon as we came out of the hospital, he was smiling and happy. And by the time we reached our home, his stomach pain had vanished. Surprisingly, without taking any medicine. He became fine because he strongly believed that he will be fine just by visiting the doctor. This is placebo effect. Effect of positive thinking. Our thoughts affect our reality. If we have to change our reality, we have to change our thoughts. Let's take a small example of a nocebo effect and how to change it to a placebo effect. When I was preparing for my fifth speech, I somehow had a strong feeling that I would forget some points. And on the day of my speech, it so happened that I forgot some points. It was a nocebo effect. Now, how I could have changed it to a placebo effect and improved my speech delivery? Joe Silva, a leading mind reader, developed a method called as the Silva method to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. He says, whenever you get a negative thought that is obstructing your goal, say to yourself, cancel, cancel, and immediately replace it with the positive thought. So in my case, whenever I got a feeling that I would forget some points, I could have said, cancel, cancel. I'm confident that I'm delivering my complete speech. Renowned philosopher Henry David says, as a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, a single thought will not make a change in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the things we want to achieve. So positive thinking does not come overnight. It's a habit that can be cultivated over time. Dear Toastmasters, positive thinking makes us happy, confident, and successful. Our thoughts have the power to create our reality.